Far beyond the frozen fjords and the endless northern forests, the Vikings believed the gods were always watching, not from the mountains, not from the sea, but from the sky. The old sagas spoke of two ravens who flew across the world every day. They watched the battles of men, listened to whispers in distant villages, and returned to the halls of the gods each night. Their names were Huginn and Muninn, thought and memory. They belonged to Odin, the Allfather. These ravens carried the knowledge of the world to the throne of Asgard. No secret remained hidden from their black wings, but the sagas also warned of something far more terrifying. Sometimes, the ravens did not simply watch. Sometimes, they came to judge. Deep within the frozen north stood a mountain range known as the Black Crown Peaks. Few travelers passed through those mountains. The sky above them was almost always dark with storm clouds, and the winds carried strange echoes through the jagged stone cliffs. Many believed the mountains were cursed. Some said the gods themselves watched the lands below from those heights. One winter, the northern settlements began noticing something strange. Every morning, dozens of ravens gathered on rooftops and trees across the villages, hundreds of them. Watching the birds did not attack. They did not fly away. They simply stared at the people of the north. Then one night, the ravens disappeared. The sky became silent. In the northern village of Ravensfjord, a warrior named Leif Stormhand stood outside the wooden walls, watching the dark horizon. Leif had grown up hearing the old stories of Odin's ravens. His father believed they were nothing more than myths meant to scare children. But Leif had always believed the sagas carried truth, and tonight, the sky felt wrong. The wind had stopped. The clouds above the mountains moved slowly across the stars. Then, something enormous crossed the moon. Leif looked up. At first, he thought it was a cloud drifting across the night sky. Then lightning flashed across the horizon. The shape became clear. Wings, massive wings stretching across the sky. The creature circled once above the valley before descending toward the mountains. Before dawn, Leif climbed the cliffs outside the village. The frozen wind howled through the stone peaks as he reached the highest ridge overlooking the valley, and there he saw it. The creature perched on a massive stone pillar above the mountains. It was a raven, but larger than any creature Leif had ever seen. Its wings were wider than the sails of a long. Its feathers were darker than night itself. Two glowing blue eyes burned inside its shadowed face. The Raven of Odin had come. Leif felt the air grow colder. The enormous raven slowly turned its head. Its glowing eyes locked onto the lone warrior standing on the ridge. For a moment, neither moved. Then the raven spread its wings. The wind returned instantly. Snow and ice exploded across the mountain as the creature launched itself into the sky. Within seconds, the raven was above Leif. Its wings beat once. The force nearly threw him from the cliff. Then the raven landed. The mountain shook beneath its weight. The creature towered above Leif like a living shadow. Its massive beak opened slightly. "You stand before the eyes of Odin," a voice echoed inside Leif's mind. Leif tightened his grip on his runic sword. "I've stood before worse." The raven tilted its head. "You are not here to fight. You are here to be judged." Leif frowned. Judged for what? The raven's glowing eyes flared brighter. For the wars of men. For the blood spilled across the north. For the darkness rising beneath the frozen lands. Leif realized something. The raven was not simply watching, it was testing him. The creature suddenly leaped into the air. The sky darkened as its enormous wings blocked the rising sun. The raven dove downward like a falling star. Leif barely rolled aside as the massive beak struck the rock beside him, shattering the stone into fragments. Leif ran forward and slashed his runic blade across the creature's wing. The blade struck the feathers with a burst of blue light, but the raven did not bleed. Instead, the creature rose into the sky again. The wind howled across the mountain as the raven circled once more before diving again. This time, Leif waited. As the creature descended, Leif raised his sword high toward the sky. The runes on the blade began glowing brighter. The raven stopped. Its wings spread wide above the mountain. The creature looked at the glowing weapon carefully. "You carry a blade blessed by the old runes." The voice echoed inside Leif's mind. Leif lowered the sword slowly. "I fight monsters. I protect the north." The raven studied him for a long moment. Then the massive creature folded its wings. "You are not the enemy." The raven stepped closer. Its enormous head lowered until its glowing eyes were level with the warrior. "The north will soon face a greater darkness. A war that will awaken creatures older than the gods themselves." Leif felt the cold wind return. "What creatures?" The raven turned its gaze toward the distant northern horizon. "Something beneath the mountains has begun to move." Then the creature spread its wings again. With one powerful motion, the raven launched itself into the sky. The storm clouds returned instantly as the massive bird disappeared into the dark horizon. Leif stood alone on the mountain ridge. The Raven of Odin had not come to destroy the North. It had come to warn it, and somewhere, far beyond the frozen peaks, something ancient had begun to awaken. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to like and subscribe for more.